Hello and welcome to Create the Flow. I'm Monica Freeman, host and founder of Monica Freeman Studios and Unewell. I am here to guide you in aligning with your soul's purpose, trusting your inner voice, and building a life that you truly love. You were born with a purpose, and your intuition already knows the way. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 0 to 7, Building a Soul-Led Brand. I'm so happy that you are here. It has been a journey, building a brand from scratch. I knew it would present its challenges because I have built a business from scratch before, but this year was a year of building and really tapping into that foundation to build sustainability. So after I reverse engineered my business and decided on the programs that I wanted to offer, I started thinking about an app. Now, an app is not scalable if you don't have a massive audience at first, but I also feel like an app is an entry point to the deeper work that I actually teach at Unewell. So really healing those inner child wounds and doing that shadow work and getting to the root of what those triggers and those fears are. As someone who suffered with debilitating anxiety and built Unewell out of that dysregulation because I learned how to heal, it's imperative that I get the message out. So one of the things I've been doing in my business is leaning into where I feel most aligned, as I've shared in a previous episode, because for me to actually build something that feels good to me, that I can actually market and sell in a holistic way, I need to take money out of the equation. Now, this is not something that most businesses would do. We're always trying to figure out the fastest way to grow our business, the smartest way, the overhead, and how our profit margins look. And in this case, I really put a substantial amount of time into building this app and spending money on it before I was making money because I felt called to do that. What I will say about the app is because I started building it after I finished my programs without ever marketing my programs, I kind of went back and forth if this was smart timing or not, because when you're a new brand, as I shared in a previous episode, you can't come in with everything all at once unless you already have a warm audience. And in this case, I do with my personal brand and I do with my creative agency, but those are not my dream clients. That's not my target market for Unewell. So those people may or may not come to Unewell. So I had to think about Unewell from the perspective of who my dream client is and what they need now. So even though I already built my programs and my community and my app, I have to be strategic in how I market them because I can't, like I said, be everywhere all at once. Now, what I think was a really smart move, and I'll let you know later, is the fact that this was a build year for me. So once I built clarity in what Unewell is, exactly what it is and who it serves, I was able to build out my vision for Unewell. And I had to reverse engineer that because I had to think about what Unewell looks like in 5 years and in 10 years from now. And for me, Unewell is a wellness facility. It's retreats, it's immersions that people get to experience together. So we have these in-person immersions and we do yoga and breath work and meditate and do inner child healing and have sanctuaries and have this really beautiful experience together, this community in person. But in order to get to that place, I needed to build that online. So instead of doing the traditional branding where I would go forward facing as just me, a personal brand, trying to get people into the Unewell container, I'm trying to build Unewell online as a sanctuary that you can have at home, a place that feels safe and it feels kind of like an immersive experience at home from this app. So it's almost like you're in a destination because when you're on vacation, you feel at ease most of the time. That's when you're the most relaxed. And I wanted my platform to give you that same emotion. I wanted you to feel that. And as you know, a website is basically your storefront. And my app is the storefront to Unewell and what the retreats are going to be like, or at least an extension of it. So that was something that I really took into consideration. But I also knew that this is different than other wellness apps on the market and how they're marketing their companies. And it's not as humanistic. So even though I am the face and I am inviting people into this container, there is an element of this entire retreat. And I had to, really think about the future of what I want, because this may draw people in because they may be curious and they may want to feel like they're on vacation, but it also may repel people because they might feel like that's intangible and they can't have that experience and it's less personal. So that was something that I really had to weigh the pros and cons on to get clear in the brand identity that I was building. And that is basically how I decided to build not only the website, but also the social media, specifically Instagram. And that's how I designed the app. So that is something to take into consideration when you're building your brand. It's easy to look externally at what your competitors are doing when you are not locked into your own core values and your own mission and whatever that projected vision is in 3, 5, 10 years from now. So really think about who you are at your core and what your brand stands for whenever you are showing up and building your brand, because the more you are true to yourself and you lead with that, the higher the sustainability rate. When we are leading from inauthenticity because we want to follow trends, or we want to follow what the current marketing forecast is, or we want to follow somebody who's done this before, and it's not authentic to us, we don't have a good follow through rate because it doesn't feel aligned. At some point, you're going to just throw up your hands and be like, why did I do that? And then you're going to backtrack to the thing that you should have done. And that is not what I wanted to do with Unewell. And I've gone back and forth in my vision for Unewell until I just realized I really want to keep it as simple as it has been for me. I want to keep it the short 5-step process that I use to heal every single thing. That helps me feel elevated, that helps me feel confident, that helps me feel aligned, that helps me feel peace internally. I want to bring that to market. There's no gimmicks, there's no quick wins, there's no like highs and lows. It's nothing dramatic. It's really just simple. So I wanted to keep everything simple so that it was easily digestible. So my programs are basically able to funnel people into my world. So it's just one program specifically, but I have one program that takes you into my world. And then you have the option of joining my community, which is like a online sanctuary. So you can get that kind of retreat experience with a community of like-minded individuals who make you feel safe and seen and heard. And you have that container to come to 24/7. And then you also have, like I said, the app when it releases. So you can have that daily ritual app for yourself anytime, anywhere when you're on the go. So now you've got 3 different options of how you can step into my world. And it's pretty seamless because you can honestly enter at any point. You can enter into the masterclass, you can enter into the community or the app. At any point, they're all going to serve you wherever you are on your timeline. So that was something that I was very strategic about, and how I'm able to market that, I will get back to you. I'm still tweaking that right now, but I would say that I'm going to start with the community and the masterclass first. The future of brands is bringing people into your private community. It is taking them from the app and bringing them into your personal space. So whether that's your newsletter or your Substack or your community or an in-person retreat or whatever that is, wherever you can get these intimate conversations happening, I see that being the future, especially with the explosion of AI. And I don't think that intimacy is going anywhere anytime soon. So I would highly recommend, if you are launching a business and you feel comfortable building a community, to consider that when it's the right time. It doesn't necessarily have to be a community, but some gathering where you can get people into your group, where you have that intimate conversation. But also keep in mind that you need a group container that has enough people to sustain the amount of work that you're putting into it. So that is something that I'm considering, the price point in relation to what I'm delivering monthly and the expectations that I have for myself and the brand as a whole, and the transformation that my community will get, what that looks like, and how to keep that really tangible where people are getting the transformation, but at an economical price point, because I really want to keep my products priced affordably, unless I'm moving into, the retreats that might look a little different. But everything else, I really want things to be accessible, because mental health is such an important thing for me. I see so many people living in Los Angeles on the streets and just passerbyers that suffer from mental illness. I've had people in my life that I know, and it's something that I'm extremely passionate about. And if I could help everybody, I would. So I want to do my part in serving my community by giving back as much as I can for a sustainable price that helps me and helps you. So that is something to consider in your business, how this all works out for you, and how you basically take the offer suite that you have and collect enough loyal followers and people in your community, advocates, to really come into your personal space, whatever that private community is, so that if hypothetically anything was to happen with social media or another platform happened and you had to shift quickly, you would already have a close knit group of people that you could pivot and transition to that next channel or your own personal community or whatnot. So I would really think about that when you're thinking about marketing and trying to build the stamina to sustain whatever you have, because a launch, depending upon if you have things automated, which we'll do a whole series on automation later, but if you're automating everything and you have a system that sells your programs for you, or if you're always launching every quarter or every couple of weeks, that can be draining. Or if you have a membership, having to be present and what the expectations are of that, like really dialing in what works best for your business model and your energy level. And I think this is also where human design becomes very relevant, because we are not all designed to work the same way. So depending upon which one of the 5 energy types you are, you may find that you're someone who likes to be on all the time when you are lit up and excited about something, or you're somebody who needs sufficient time after maybe a launch to rest, or after a build or something to rest, or after maybe a Zoom call with a client, an immersion, whatever the experience is. So it's really important to understand your energy type, how you operate best behind the scenes, how you can actually show up consistently with the style of energy that you have. If you have one-on-one containers, that may drain a lot of energy having to show up and be on all the time. You might make sufficient money, but you might also burn yourself out. And if you want to build sustainability, you can't burn yourself out with the choices that you're making. You also can't underprice a very valued product or course that you have and then be resentful of it and feel like you're constantly having to be on and sell and push content marketing strategies. So it's really about assessing what works for you. And I think for me at this part of my life, I really do well in community spaces. I think I'm really good talking with people and working through their problems and helping them get to the other side. So in order for me to get that transformation, it's kind of like putting the app out there, the community out there, and the program seemed effortless to me. And also, it's an easy marketing strategy because they all kind of funnel together. I will obviously, for anybody who joins the program, I will then upsell them into the community so they have access to continuing that education in the community. And in the community, I'll upsell them to the app as their daily ritual when they are not actively in the community. So again, you can reverse engineer that and start with the app, come to the community, and then do the mastermind. It's really all about where they want to be in their journey. So if you are in the process of building right now and you're trying to figure out what to bring to market and what time to bring something to market and how you're going to make money and how you're going to meet your revenue goals and how you're going to be able to sustain that, really think about you as an individual, how you perform best, what your workload looks like, how much effort is needed to show up for yourself, how you can actually be consistent without burning yourself out, and how you can show up for your audience from the most authentic space. So you truly being yourself without that hustle energy, without that really salesy, forcey, kind of inauthentic, like desperate space and align yourself with your truth. So if this means that you have to start small with maybe a low product ticket offer and then build on that, that's where I would start. If you're somebody who can, do a lot all at once without burning yourself out, like myself, I'm a manifesting generator, I would then try to build an engaged community while you're trying to build behind the scenes, whatever that product or services that you're going to offer, versus doing one and then doing the other, because it takes a while to build the community and get the warm leads for the offer. So you want to have that in place. And the only reason why I did it backwards is because I actually was trying to build clarity in what I was doing. And I couldn't market anything on social media if I didn't actually know the lens in which I was going to be operating. So I had no idea exactly what my product was and what I was going to be selling. So because I didn't know, I didn't have a message to deliver. So that's the only reason why I reverse engineered it and started with my products and then started doing the marketing, because I had to find the clarity and build out the products and get everything sort of itemized in my own mind. So allocate things. But if you already know what your messaging is and you already know who your dream client is and you already have that product in mind, you can start marketing now. You don't have to have the offer ready. You can have a wait list with a countdown of when that offer is going to be ready. You can do pre-sales. You can really get people excited about your offer so that when you are ready to sell, it's already kind of like a lead into that and you've already sort of warmed them up. So really be strategic in how you are positioning your products and your content marketing strategy so that you don't burn yourself out and find yourself like stopping and starting, because that dysregulation is just going to keep you in sort of this analysis paralysis and this overperformance, having to be perfect and nothing's ever good enough. And then you're never actually going to get to the finish line. So don't let that be you. I hope that from this video, you took away today how to really start with the right strategy for you. So whether that is your content marketing strategy to build a community and warm up those leads, how to build the right product for you to launch first, and starting with one product and flying that to the moon before you build out an entire suite so that you don't burn yourself out in that capacity, and really getting people into that container, into that space where they trust that one product so that they look at you as the authority and they want the other products. Plus, the beautiful thing about starting with one product, if you don't know your buyer's journey yet, is that that one product's going to dictate what the other products look like. So for instance, if you have a digital marketing, let's say you just have like a whole digital marketing course, and this digital marketing course is super vague, but people are really interested in selling. Well, that is your next chapter. You just basically build onto that. So maybe the first course is all about how to build a program that you can sell and market online. That's program number one. And then from that, you go into how to sell that program, instead of overwhelming them with both of the different options, because people want fast transitions. They want to learn one thing, they want to get it done, and then they want to move to the next. So I hope that you got some value in what I'm doing behind the scenes in my business, why I made the choices that I did to basically reverse engineer my business, and how I started with my products first, because that helped me build clarity in exactly what my messaging was and who my dream clients were, so that I could then come back over here and start marketing my products to an audience and really be prepared to warm them up and get them straight into my sales funnel. And when the app is ready, have people in the app. It's going to be truly amazing. So thank you so much for tuning into this video. I love you, and I will see you on the next one.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you'd like more information, you can follow along on Instagram at Create the Flow Podcast, or find me personally at Monica Freeman. And if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave a review and share it with a friend.